Hey, this is Tips for Gamers, and here we are going over how to manage chemists in Schedule 1. Leave a comment if you have any questions or suggestions, and hit subscribe for more. Now, chemists are the most expensive employees out there as they have a daily wage of $300. They use the lab ovens, the chemistry stations, of course, and then in the advanced places, they also use cauldrons. And as an extra, they also are responsible for the mixing stations. Now let's go talk to Manny and hire our chemists for the bungalow. Now normally the chemists are signed with a 1,500 cash signing fee, but because we already have a bunch of employees working at the bungalow, there will always be an extra for the employee. Now heading back to the bungalow, we have our chemist wearing his suit, Justin. Now let's pull out our clipboard that Manny gave us to handle our employees, and let's give our chemist a bed first and foremost. Let's interact on the chemist with our clipboard and assign him a bed. Now don't worry about the spacing of the beds, they don't actually sleep on the beds, it's just where you put their money or wages in. Now let's open up the briefcase and add some money in here so we know that he will start working as soon as we're done assigning him his stations. Now for example, our chemist, Justin Pinkman. Let's manage our chemist and assign him the stations. For example, let's give him a chemistry station, a lab oven, even a mixing station, and of course the cauldron as well. Now you can hold shift to select multiple stations so you don't have to keep going back and forth one by one. Now that the chemist has his stations, he will always work on these stations as long as you set up the stations proper. For example, the chemistry station, the very basic recipe liquid, and of course a destination. Obviously, once the output is done here, it should go to the lab oven. And from the lab oven, it can go to a specific storage, and usually the storage where the handler will take the output and start packaging them for you. Now, one thing the chemists does need to have partnered with is a handler, because the handler needs to make sure that all the ingredients are always filled up inside the chemistry station so the chemist can start working. So that is an extra thing that you need to know about chemists. They don't pick up any ingredients themselves, they just do the work for you. For example, for our mixing station, again, you can add a threshold for what kind of things the mixing station will have before they start mixing on it, and then output it to a destination of a storage rack. So there's going to be a lot of logistics happening when you do start using a mixing station for your chemist. Because naturally, when you do start using the mixing station for your chemists, you're going to have a bunch of mixing stations where the output goes into the next mixing station, goes into the next mixing station, depending on whatever ingredient that mixing station will have. So that's the kind of logistics you are going to have and the puzzling you will have to do if you want your chemist to do mixing in the mixing station. And the same goes for the cauldron as well. Well, pretty much for the cauldron, you just put the ingredients in and it goes into a specific destination, so that's no trouble for our chemist. So again, just to summarize things up, mixing stations, if you're mixing a specific product, make sure the handler is placing the ingredients into the mixing station, and the chemist will handle all the mixing and then outputting it into a destination of probably another mixing station and to another where there are different ingredients for that mixing station. Our chemist will handle all of that. And again, for the chemistry station, again, the handler needs to place ingredients into the chemistry station, or you could put it yourself if you wanted to. The chemistry station will go to the lab oven, and then from the lab oven, it will go towards the storage rack, where the handler again will start packaging it for you. And lastly, for the cauldron, pretty much similar with the chemistry station, where you just make sure that the handler places the ingredients into the cauldron so the chemist can start working on it. So the chemist, as expensive as he is the one who will manage a lot of those mixing and chemistry station mini games for you. If you're ever going to have a chemist, make sure if you want him automated, he needs to be with a handler, unless you're going to do all the handling stuff yourself. Later on, they will be very important once you upgrade to the barn or even the docks. That's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.